argument is, I think it's a chance to explore other people's ideas and opinions. And again, everybody is welcome to their idea and their opinion. You know, we all are. We're all entitled to that.
Yes.
You know, it's part of who we are. But I think people get scared of argument because they're like, they don't understand that it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a good thing, actually. Arguing is a good thing.
Yes, it is.
Because it gives you a chance to tell me how you really feel. Give me a chance to figure out how you're really feeling and how I really feel about whatever it is we're talking about. And again, it just comes back to your opinion, my opinion, you know, and then it bakes down to the facts.
Right, so if somebody feels like they're doing, like what we were talking about, if they're worried about being wrong in something, which is what I always tell people when we're quote unquote arguing. In my mind, I think of it as an expansive conversation. But I can always say, is what you're saying including my beliefs? Because if you're not including me in what you're saying, if even where I'm coming from you're trying to negate, or you're trying to kill, or get rid of, then what does that do, right? Because in my mind, I don't ever fear an argument because I know that I can include where they're coming from. So therefore, I never have to worry about being wrong. Somebody who can't include what I'm saying, they end up afraid of where the argument will go. And you can see that it's only a minor change in the paradigm of thinking, like we talked about. Like, if they're okay with it, where it can go, then they must be including where I'm coming from, because then they no longer have to shut me out.
Maybe.
You know,
that's a maybe on that one. I can see where you're coming from with that.
See?
But again, the other thing is, well, there is validation going on there through an argument, because you'll say, you know, I take your point. I can see what you mean. I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you're saying.
Yes, you should be able to do that.
The problem is, and I think the issue is that a lot of people view arguments like they're an argument, first of all.
Right.
Well, not like in the sense that I got to crush you.
Right.
In order to win the argument, I have to disprove everything.
You have to be down, I have to be up.
Yeah, your stuff is crap, and my stuff is just, you know, the best in the world. You know, it's like golden or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of people look at arguments that they feel that that's what they're like, and they're really not. It's an opportunity for expansion.
Yes.
And that's why you get that, if you do it right, it's kind of like you get that brain stimulation, like gambling or sex. You know what I mean? Because you're doing it properly. You're having a banter, and the person who you're bantering with is making you think about their point.
Yeah.
And again, just taking it back to the religion thing, because that's one of the things that many people have had drummed into them. Taking it back to that, when you're talking about religion or arguing that, you know, there is a God, there ain't no God, we are this, we are that, you know, people start losing the point because they're so emotionally charged over their point, and they don't understand.
They don't even know what they're fighting for.
They don't fully understand what the whole argument is about, and so what they do is they start attacking.
Yes.
You know, and that my ex is like that. I mean, we've all had people like that in our lives who will attack you because they think, you know, that's the only way to win an argument.
Right.
Right or wrong, I'm going to talk over the top of you, and the one who yells the loudest wins.
Yeah, and it's totally a debatable area, but that, once again, that it could be argued that is coming from that place where they're, like, once again, they're worried about being crushed themselves, because if you feel like you need to win over somebody, then you will fear being won over. If you don't have if you don't have a mindset of, I have to conquer you, then there is no getting conquered. You know?
You know what gets beat up in an argument, and why people react the way they do, I think. And this isn't an original idea. It comes from other people. It's the ego protection program taking over, because it's not what we really
should call that EPP.
Yeah, it's not really what we think and believe. It's us protecting what we think and believe.
Yes.
You know, it's me protecting what I think and believe, and I get upset because you're attacking my very core, what I think of myself, by having this argument. I mean, it's like, if you can get that out of the way, like most lawyers know.
Yep.
You get that out of the way, then you're okay, because it doesn't have anything to do with anybody's ego. But when most people see, that's where it's at, really, Brian. Most people function on that ego thing. It's what I think of myself, and then the next thing is what do you think of me?
Yeah.
And when you can get rid of those two things, it's like, first of all...
And if you don't agree with the way I think about myself, then I must be wrong, or it must not be true.
Yeah. Well, the first thing they do is they go to that defense mode because they feel like they're defending you're attacking me because you're attacking what I believe. And it's like, no, I'm trying to change your thoughts in a positive way, but if your ego's going to get in the way, then we're never going to get anywhere.
Right. Because you're going to always think that I'm separate from you. I'm trying to do something that the big power that makes life possible doesn't want. Like, that's what baffles me, man. That's what I was kind of talking about, that separation and unity thing. Like, I could have grown up in a hippie family with people doing yoga and meditating and everything, and I would have been very adept in the sense that, hey, this is my brother over here. This is my sister over here. We are one, That's all great, but then it's still the same growth on the end of somebody who grew up thinking they were separate from it and everything's happening independently of them, because then you can get wrapped up with the idea that your sense of oneness is the only way, that your sense of how things are connected can't be changed. Like, see,
I understand that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
things are one just as much as they are separate, so you get to choose it all, which is why, like we said, it's an expansive conversation. Arguments and debates are a good thing.
Well, yeah. If they're done appropriately, doing it in the right context and for the right reason.
Yeah, because you can be a jerk.
You don't want to be, and